Record. Okay, so once again, good morning, everyone. So this time, we will discuss about the sequence, the geometric series, and the geometric means. And then after, we will have to go kung saan geometric sequence. I know that humana ni si Jana discussed before, but we'll just have to have a recap again about geometric sequence, and then after that, we will have to compare kung unsang kalahian sa geometric sequence and geometric series. So, murag mas dali-dali ni siya because humanin na to siya na-discuss from the previous pa na mga kuan. So, ang ato ra is ato siya i-separate ang arithmetic sequence, geometric sequence. And of course, in here, of course, we are talking about the geometric sequence. So, again, pag sinabi natin, it's in here that arithmetic sequences were presented to you in the previous modules during or using situations that involve entrepreneurship, salary, weight savings, seats in a hall, and help using a doctor's advice. No, we also have there the construction, and even though this song of 12 Days of Christmas, right? So those were one of the examples na ato hatag during our discussion in arithmetic sequence and the series of our arithmetic series. So this goes to show that mathematical concepts are not just applied in mathematical scenarios, but are also being used in other fields. So in this lesson, you will again be exposed to some more circumstances where mathematics is used. So we have here this, of course, this is an example of katong hall, mga seats no, in a hall. And then, look at the pictures shown below. Have you ever wondered how plants grow or have you ever wondered how plants grow? In your Facebook account, how would you know how many likers or reactors will you have in a couple of minutes if a certain pattern is observed? When saving your money in the bank, have you realized how much will it increase monthly or like quarterly or like yearly? So these are just situations that will help you arrange or organize things accurately and make wise decisions. So it also involves that it's also state there that this pag sinabi natin kanang mga sequences and series, it will also help you to like think and make wise decisions, no? Especially when you are into observing patterns. No, like for example, if you will observe the patterns of your money, so how will you improve your money? So you have there your um, mga ipanghuna-huna on how you will improve your money. And then, aside from that, there are also patterns. Dili lang man siya about sa numbers ang ma-observe nato na patterns. It's just more, there are patterns na ma-observe nato aside from numbers. Like, for example, sa plants. No, sa mga tao, there are patterns nga to ma-observe. Sa mga natural phenomena, like sa flowers, sa trees, sa mga circumstances, no? So those are also examples of sequences and series because they have patterns na gina-follow. So consider yourself depositing an amount of money in a local bank which offers 8% interest rate compounded annually. So lahi ra ang simple interest sa compound interest. So if you deposited 10,000 pesos in that bank, how much will you earn after a year? Pila man sa dang imo ma-earn after 2 years and 3 years. Let us compute for the simple interest which is only paid on the initial principal amount. So pag simple interest, ang imo interest na kuhaon is ang interest ra sa imong principal amount ang imo kuhaon. And then on the second nasad na year, ang interest sa imong principal amount na gihapon ang imo kuhaon. But when we talk about compound interest, you're actually, ang katong imo interest, i-add mo siya sa imo principal amount and mo na to ang imong, mo na to ang kanang amount nga naa ka, and then from that, you will also have that interest, and then you will also have, murag magka-anam kadako ang imo kwarta when you have that compound interest. So we'll have to compute it here. So we have there the principal amount. This is on how you will compute the principal amount having the simple interest first. So 10,000, and then nganong na imo man is diyang 0.08 because 8% is imo na si diyang i-move two decimal places from the left, So nakadiray ang imo 0.08. So that is why nakay 0.08. And 10,000 times 0.08 is equal to 800. And then you will have to add 800 to 10,000. It becomes 10,800. Now, how much will you earn in 2 years? So, ang inyong gihimo is for you to multiply 1.08 and 1.08. So, sa first year, of course, you will have to multiply 1.08 if you are using compound interest. But pag abot sa 2 years, duha na ka 1.08 ang imo gigamit. So you will have to multiply duha ka 1.08 to 10,000 pesos. And your money in 2 years is 11,664. And then in 3 years, no, tulo na ka 1.08 ang imo i-multiply sa 10,000 pesos. And then your money on 3 years or you earn in 3 years is 12,597.12. So from the given situation, the principal amount you have is 10,000 pesos. Then after a year of investing, no, gibutang nimo si just sa bank, and then you had a remaining balance which is 10,800. Kaya ang imo interest kay 8% na. And after the second year, you obtain a remaining balance which is 11,664. Kaya gi-multiply nimo ang 1.08 kaduha since it is 2 years na. And 12,000 on the third year, kay nana kay 12,597 after the third year. So the figure shows the remaining balance you obtained for the year. So you have there 10,000 pesos, which is your principal amount, or you could also consider that one as your first term. Your second term is 10,800. So nganong nakakuha ka ng 10,800? That is by, you obtain that by multiplying 10,000 to 1.08. And then you obtain the third term by multiplying 10,800 to 1.08. And then you obtain the fourth term, no, by multiplying 11,664 by 1.08. And then that is how you get the third term there, or fourth term pala. So consider the principal amount. What is again our principal amount there is 10,000 pesos. And as the first term, the second term will be the remaining balance after a year. And then the third year will be also the remaining balance after 2 years. So mo na pasabot sa compounded. The terms were obtained by multiplying a constant value. So unsa to constant value ang atong gi-multiply, that is 1.08 from the preceding term. So again, nakay 10,000 and then nag-multiply kag 1.08, your answer is 10,800. And then 10,800, you multiply again 1.08 and then you obtain the next term. So kanang 1.08 no na-obtain na nimo siya by multiplying the preceding term. No, and then you call that the constant value, and that constant value we call that our common ratio. And we denote the common ratio as R. So again, mana nga to common ratio, and our common ratio is denoted as R. So instead of using the word common ratio, we will just use the symbol or the letter or the variable R. And the terms can be denoted by A sub n, where n refers to the placement of the term. This sequence is an example of geometric sequence. So of course, if you found a common ratio in a given sequence, so you can actually call that a geometric sequence. So therefore, the fifth term of the sequence can be obtained by. So how will you, the last nato na na-compute is ang fourth term ra. And then, given the fourth term and of course the common ratio, we can actually obtain the fifth term. And makuha na to ang fifth term by multiplying the common ratio. The fourth term times the common ratio. So A sub 4 times R, that is equal to A sub 5. So our A sub 4 there is 12,597.12. Our common ratio is 1.08. And our A sub 5 is equal to 13,604.76. So the common ratio is obtained by this one. No? Si A sub 2, giunsa ninyo pagka-identify that we have the common ratio 1.08, gi-divide nimo ang mga nagsunod na mga term. So, preceding term or succeeding term divided by the preceding term. So, like for example, A sub 2 divided by a sub 1, or a sub 3 divided by a sub 2, or a sub 4 divided by a sub 3. So that is on how you get your common ratio. Okay, so find the next three terms of the geometric sequence 321, 147. So solution to find the next three terms of the sequence, first we have to identify the common ratio. So again, in this sequence here, now how will we identify the common ratio? All you have to do is to divide 21 to 3, and your answer is 7. And then 147 divided by 21, your answer is 7 pa rin. So that is why your common ratio is 7. Afterwards, you will have to multiply the obtained common ratio to the preceding term to get the next term. So again, your first term is 3. Your second term is 3 times 7, that's 21. Third term is 21 times 7, that's 147. So again, ang gipangita is for you to find the next three terms of the sequence. So you are looking for the fourth term, the fifth term, and the sixth term. So in order for you to get the fourth term, you will have to multiply the common ratio to your third term. So imo third term is 147 times your common ratio, which is 7, so your answer is 1029. And in order for you to get your fifth term, you will have to multiply a sub 4 times the common ratio. So 1029 times 7, that's 7203. And your sixth term is 7,203 times 7, that is equal to 50,421. Therefore, the next three terms of the geometric sequence are 1,029, 7,203, and 50,421. Let's have here example number 2. So you are planning to buy a new hat or blouse which cost 300 pesos as a present to your mother this Christmas season. So you started saving money on the first week of November and double the amount to be saved every week. If you started saving 5 pesos in the first week, will you be able to buy the blouse at the end of the second week of December? What is the sequence obtained? So to solve the problem, of course, kinahanglan nimo i-analyze the given situation, kung unsa ang given, unsa ang gipangita. Now, so the amount to be saved is doubled every week. So again, ang imong amount na i-save nimo kada week magkataas ang kuan adlaw or weekly madouble ang imong money na i-save. Therefore, you must multiply the preceding terms by 2 in order for you to obtain the succeeding terms. So the initial amount saved is 5 pesos. And ang imo target amount at the end of the second week of December is 300 pesos. So you have there 5 pesos is your initial amount saved in the first week of November. 300 pesos is your target. Money ang imo target. Total savings at the end of the second week of December, which means that there are 6 weeks from the first week of November up to the second week of December. So, paano siya naging 6 week? Because sa November na kay 4 weeks in a month, right? So, you have there 4 weeks. And then, until ang imo savings is until sa second week of December. So, 4 plus 2, you get 6 weeks na imo savings in order for you to get the blouse. And then we have there the week numbers, so first week, second week, third week, fourth week, fifth week, and sixth week. So, ang imo weekly savings is 5 pesos, right? And then, of course, ingong pa na, as the week passed by, madouble ang imo i-save. So, you have there 5 pesos is your i-save on the first week. Now, on the second week, you have there 5 times 2. Ay, madouble man daw, so you have there 10 pesos. And then 10 times 2, so you have there 20 pesos. And then 20 times 2, you have there 40 pesos. And then 40 times 2, you have there 80 pesos. And then 80 times 2, you have there 160 pesos. And your total savings is 315 pesos. So how did you get that 315 pesos? You did just add 5 pesos, 10, 20, 40, 80, 160. So you have 315 pesos. No. And which means na on the 6th week of or on the 2nd week of December, makapalit na kao ng blouse sa imo mother. Sa imo gi-save na money nga gi-double nimo. So ngano gi-times 2 man nimo si Ja because he wanted to double your savings every week. So after that, no, so the geometric sequence obtained is 5, 10, 20, 40, 80, and 160. And their common ratio is R. Common ratio is R. Their common ratio is 2. Okay? Kaya nga naman, di-multiply nimo si 5 times 2, that becomes 10. Times 2, that's 20. Times 2, that's 40. Times 2, that's 80. And times 2, that's 160. Okay, so let's go on to our next. So we will have to compare the arithmetic sequences versus the geometric sequences. So if you're going to observe the given sequences in what's new, there is always a constant value that is being added or multiplied to obtain the terms in the sequence. So let us rediscover these concepts through this lesson. So in here, we have two sequence there. And of course, we will have to agree that we have the arithmetic sequence and we also have the geometric sequence. So, unsa man ang ato na-observe sa number 1 na sequence o sa number 2 na sequence? If ma-observe nato, in number 1, we obtain a common difference. No? So, the operation ato gigamit is addition or subtraction, right? So you obtain 12 by adding 7 to 5. 5 that plus 7, that's 12. 12 plus 7, that's 19. 19 plus 7, that's 26. And 26 plus 7, that's 33. And in number 1, we have there this what we call common difference, which is a common difference is obtained by subtracting the mga nagsunod na mga terms. So when we have the common difference, of course, we can call that sequence as an arithmetic sequence. And the definition for arithmetic sequence is a sequence obtained by adding a common difference d to the preceding term in order to obtain the next term. Now, for the second one is we have there no 3, 4, 48, and 192. So how did we get 12 there? Of course, we get 12 by multiplying 4 to 3. So you have there 3 times 4, 12 times 4, 48 times 4, 192. So since we use the multiplication, that means that we have the common ratio. And common ratio, we can get the common ratio by dividing the nagsunod na mga terms. So, a sub 2 divided by 1, we get 4. A sub 3 divided by a sub 2, we get 4. And a sub 4 divided by a sub 3, we get 4. So, a geometric sequence is a sequence obtained by multiplying a common ratio to the preceding terms in order to obtain the succeeding terms. So, we have there an example 12, 15, 18, and 21. So first, we will have to investigate if a common ratio or common difference exists using the first terms 12, 15, and 18. So if we will try to identify if this is an arithmetic sequence or geometric sequence ba, so ato si Ja gamito ng mga operations, no? So, if you will divide 15 divided by 12, that's 5 over 4. 18 divided by 15, that is 6 over 5. So, that means that 5 over 4 is not equal to 6 over 5. So, wala tayong makuha na common ratio. So, that means that this example here is not a geometric sequence. So, let's try in arithmetic. Ato i-minus si 15 minus 12, we get 3. 18 minus 15, we get 3. And 21 minus 18, we get 3. So since 3 and 3 here are all equal, so that means that this number 1 here has a common difference na 3. And then that means that this is an arithmetic sequence. Kaya naman tayo common difference. For example number 2, we have 10, 5, 0, and negative 5. So, when we use the common ratio, or if we will find for the common ratio, natay 1 over 2, 5 divided by 10 is 1 half, 0 divided by 5 is 0, so dili sila equal, so dili na siya kung geometric sequence. But if we will subtract them, 5 minus 10, that's negative 5. 0 minus 5, that's negative 5. So we have a common difference, and we call this as a arithmetic sequence. Example number 3. 15 divided by 5 is 3. 45 divided by 15 is 3. So, unsay tawag ani ni dyan? This is... Uy! Uy, ano yung nanubag? Geometric kay naatay common ratio. For number 4, no, ang nakuha nato kay geometric gihapon. Kay gi-divide man nato si 12 divided by negative 4, that's negative 1 half. Negative 6 divided by 12, that's negative 1 half. So we have there a geometric sequence. Okay, now let's proceed to the, where is it? To the geometric means. No? So, ato ni sabton kung kinsa ning si geometric means. So, look at the problem below. So, can you determine what must be placed in the blank to form a geometric sequence? So, if you have there, your first term is 12, and then blank ang inyong second term, and your third term is 3. So, if you want to find for the second term, all you have to do is to, of course, use the what? The formula in arithmetic sequence. Hala, paano ba ito sa formula sa arithmetic sequence? Wait lang. Let's go there before sa geometric. Okay, so finding there is before ta sa geometric means. So finding the end term of a geometric sequence and geometric means. So for geometric sequence, of course, we have here. Paspas na kayo ko, no? Sagdira kaya ito naman gyapon ning balikon. Mag-review naman gyapon to sa face-to-face.
Hello. Hello, everyone.
Okay, so in here, we have there in finding the end term of a geometric sequence. So in finding the end term of a geometric sequence, now, in the previous modules, you learned about geometric sequences and how to find the next terms of geometric sequences. So you have there, if you have the sequences below, we have 5, 10, 20, 36, 12, and 4, and so on. So if you are asked to find the next 3 terms of the geometric sequences, what method are you going to use? Now, so if you are asked for mga pila ka terms, like for example, in this sequence, you are tasked to find for the 20th term of this sequence. Basically, you are going to multiply the common ratio to obtain the next terms. No? So, mama na ang maragi discuss na to in the previous. No, so of course, si 5, 10, 20 here is a geometric sequence and nasa common ratio na 2. Therefore, the next 3 terms are 40, 80, and 160. So, how did we get 40? We get 40 by multiplying 20 sa 2. Okay, we all know that the common ratio here is 2. So, the same with the sequence tani. Now, we will have to get the next 3 terms by multiplying this with 1/3. Kaya ang ila common ratio is 1/3 man. Because if you will have to divide 12 divided by 36, you will get 1/3. And 4 divided by 12, you will get 1/3. So your common ratio is 1/3. So the essential question there is actually, what if I am going to ask for the 10th term, 20th term, and the 100th term, respectively? Are you going to use the same method? So, using the same method, multiplying the common ratio to identify the 10th term or 20th term or 100th term is such a waste of time. No, as what I have said earlier or before sa itong mga discussion na malangan ka if you will just have to, mangita ako sa ika 100 na term. So, all you have to do is we will have to use the formula given in the geometric sequence. And before that, no, how did we obtain pala the formula in finding for the geometric sequence? So, if we were gonna use the 7th term of the sequence 5, 10, and 20, of course, this method here seems to be time-consuming and impractical. So we will have to create a formula from this example here. So the first term is 5. The second term is 5. The third term is 10, 5, 10, 5, 10, 20, 40, 80, 160, and so on. And then you will obtain the third term by simply multiplying the second term by 2. Na siya. And the 10th term there is 2,560. So using this example here, we can actually create a formula that is derived from here. So how did we get the formula? Of course, naata diri kini siya is naatay 5555 here, and our 5 there is what we call the first term. Sakto? Si first term. So how did we get 5 there? You have there 5. And then 5 times 2 in order for you to get the second term, which is 10. And then, murag mahud ka na sa tingog inig abot sa Friday. 5 times 2 times 2, that is 20. So, si 40, we can get 40 by multiplying 5 times 2 times 2 times 2. So, ang ija na-observe na at naa si first term per me. Sakto? And if we will to use this one as our formula, sa ato formula, si first term is a sub 1. Sakto? So, you have there a sub 1. So, si a sub 1, no, si first term atong ikuha. Now, si 2, diri si 2, nagbalik-balik man si 2, sakto? So, si 2 diha, of course, we will use times 2. And kung imo ma-observe kung pila ka 2 sa sugod sa diri, waya kay 2, 0. Sa second term, naa kay isa ka 2. Sa third term, naa kay duha ka 2. Sa fourth term, naa kay tulo ka 2. So, nagka-anam, ka-increase, or kadaghan ng imong 2. So, again, sa first term, imo 2 is 0. Sa second term, ang imo 2 kay isa ra. So, nakay mo nang naatay power duha. So, si 2 diha is our common ratio. So, we will have to denote 2 there as our common ratio. So, that is on how we get the formula there. So, you have there your formula. A sub n is equal to the first term, which is A sub 1, multiply to the R, which is your common ratio, and to the power of n minus 1. Okay, as the term goes up, no, so ma-minusan si ja og 1. And then your A sub n is your nth term. Your A sub 1 is your first term, and your R there is the common ratio, and your N there is the number of terms. So using the sequence 5, 10, 20, we identify the 7th term and the 10th term, which are 320 and 2,560 respectively. Now, let us derive formula. If you check, we are on the right track. So for us to identify the 7th term, so all we have to do is to okay, ang given nato kay si A sub 1 is equal to 5. Your R is equal to, or the common ratio is 2. And then, your N is equal to 7 since you are looking for the 7th term. So, you have there A sub 7 is equal to, your first term is 5. Your R is 2 to the power of 7 minus 1. So, 7 minus 1, that's 6. So, 2 to the power of 6, that is 2 times 2, 4 times 2, 8 times 2, 16 times 2, 32 times 2, 64. So, you have 64 times 5, that is 320. The same process that you will have to use in finding for the 10th term of that sequence. Okay, let's have another example here. Yeah. Hala, wala na makita ako give percent. Kainara. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Pwede ra mo mag-open mic. Dili na ko makita inyong mga chat. Sige, so we'll proceed to the next one here. Sige, we'll have this second example here. So, find the specified term of the given geometric sequence. So, you have there 1/2, 2, 8, and then you are tasked to find for the 6th term. So, again, you are tasked to find for the 6th term. So, again, all you have to do is to identify your first term is 1/2. And then your common ratio is 4. How did you obtain 4? Because 2 divided by 1/2, is it 4? 8 divided by 2 is 4. So 2 divided by 1 half is 4. 8 divided by 2 is 4. So you have there your common ratio is 4 and then your n is equal to 6. And then you are tasked to find for the a sub 6 or the 6th term. So you have there a sub n is equal to the first term times r to the power of n minus 1. So your first term is 1 half. Your common ratio is 4. Your n is 6 minus 1. So 6 minus 1, that's 5. So 4 times 4, 16 times 4, monato times 4, hantod. So ikaapat nimo or ikalima nimo i-times si 4. So your answer there is 1,024. You will multiply it by 1 half and then your answer is 512. 1 half times 1,024 is 512. And that is your 6th term. Okay, let's have another example here. So what is the 7th term of, ay humana ni siya nato na example sa last na video. So we'll not have to go on that because humana na si Ja for the geometric sequence. So we'll proceed to the geometric means. So what if daw, if we have there tulo ka sequence na, and then ang sa tunga is dili si Ja kung makita. So 12 and then your second term is unknown and then you have the third term as 3. So, if of course your first thinking is for you to use the formula. So you will have to use a sub n is equal to a sub 1 times r to the power of n minus 1. But upon substituting all the things there, your first term is 12, your r is unknown, since dili nimo makita ang sa imo common ratio, 2 to the power of 1, then 2 minus 1 is 1, so you have there 12r. And then diha nakataman, and then you don't know kung unsa gyud ang kuan. So you will have to discover this problem. So, kining si 12 ug si 3, we call that as our extremes. And then, ang kini na to nga, we call that as our geometric mean. So, the given terms are the first and last terms. These terms are called the extremes, and the term is in between extremes are called geometric means. So in the geometric sequence 2, 4, 8, 16, the numbers 4 and 8 are the geometric means of the extremes 2 and 16 are extremes. So if natay upat ka given sad, kining 4 ug 8 mo nang ato gitawag na geometric mean, si 2 ug ang 16 mo nang ato extreme. Okay, pag upat ang given nato. So we will have to derive the formula. So from deriving that, of course, we obtain this one here. No? So again, let's go back here. Now the common ratio refers to the ratio of two consecutive terms. So we have there r is equal to a sub n over a sub n minus 1. So same with the other, this can be our basis in finding geometric means that a sub 3 over a sub 2 is equal to a sub 2 divided by a sub 1. Diba? Kay, para makakuha ta sa common ratio, kaya ato i-divide si second term divided by the first term. Third term divided by the second term. So, mao ni ang pasabot sa kini. Na equal ra, no, ang third term divided by the second term o second term divided by the first term. Kay pareha man sila, kay geometric man sila, which means that they have common ratio or they have the same answer, kay they have the same ratio. Okay? So, let's go back to the problem 12. And then, wait ka ba sa second term, unknown, and then the third term is 3. So, ang ato first term there is 12. So, we will have to use this formula here. So, natay a sub 3 over a sub 2 equals a sub 2 over a sub 1. Ang ato first term, ato ibutang dire, 12. Ato ni substitutan sa a sub 1 ng 12 here. And then, ang last term nato, which is a sub 3 is equal to 3. So, ato ni sad, alis na ni si a sub 3. Diba a sub 3 ni, so ato alis na ng 3. And then, since we have that equal there, so we will have to cross multiply. So, naatay a squared times a squared, that is a sub 2 pala, sorry. A sub 2 squared, that is a sub 2 squared. No? Ano siya? 12 times 3, that is 36. So, para matangtang ning square diha, we have to square root both sides para matanggal si square. So, you have a sub 2 is equal to, it's either positive 6 or negative 6. So, of course, your common ratio is 6 man or negative 6. So, all you have to do is to add 12 plus 6 is equal to, 12 times 6 is equal to, so it's either nara sa 6 or negative 6. So if you will try 6 as your a sub 2, there, no? So what is your common ratio? If you have there a sub, if your second term is 6, it's 1 half, right? Again, if your second term is 6, so your common ratio there is 1 half. Okay, 6 divided by 12 is 1 half man. Next, so to insert terms, let us identify first the common ratio by using the formula. So you have there R is equal to, so how do we identify that? The common ratio. So if we are tasked for the common ratio, so we have there N, R is equal to N minus K times square root niya, square root of A sub N over A sub K. Si N man ang imong number of terms. Si K is equal to 1 since it is the first term replacement and R is the common ratio. So si K daw is 1. So let's have there an example. So like for example, again, 3 and then takabayo diri and then 45. Si 3 ug si 45 we call that as extreme. Si second term is mao na ang atong geometric mean. So in order for us to get that one, we will use the formula a sub 3 over a sub 2 is equal to a sub 2 over a sub 1. So our a sub 3 is 45 over a sub 2, which is unknown, is equal to a sub 2 over our first term is 3. So, cross multiply, we have a sub 2 squared is equal to 45 times 3 is equal to 135. And then your square root of a sub 2 is equal to plus minus square root of 135 or positive negative 3 square root of 15. So therefore, your second term is it's either this one or negative 3 square root of 15. Now, if we have there duha, no, natay mga extreme nato is 250 and 2, we will have to find for the 2 geometric means. No? So all we have to do is to use the formula there. This is R, R is equal to N minus K. So we are looking for the ratio or the common ratio para makita nato ang duha. So we have there R is equal to N minus K square root of A sub N over A sub K. So ang imo N kay 4 kay nara may upat 1, 2, 3, and 4 minus 1. And then your square root of A sub 4 is 250. Your A sub 1 is 2. So 250 divided by 2, that is 125. So ang cube root sa 125 is equal to 5. Nga naman, si 5 daw i-times nimo sa ija ko galingon katulo, dapat mo equal siya sa 125. So that is 5 times 5, 25 times 5, that is 145. So you get the common ratio, which is 5. And then since you already have your common ratio, makakita na ta sa second term o third term. All you have to do is to multiply your common ratio to the first term. So 2 times 5, that is 10. 10 times 5, that is 50. And 50 times 5, that is 250. So your sequence there is 2, 10, 50, and 250.
Okay.
Do you have any questions, clarifications?